Hello everyone, welcome to this new TouchDesigner tutorial. In this tutorial we're looking to this new or next chapter in the Generative Design book that we're going to implement this sketch that makes different sorting methods for our pixels, so we can have this type of gradients depending of the input image we have, and we can have this sorting method by hue, saturation, or brightness, and for grayscale values. So this yeah, we're going to end with a sketch like this, where we can use these interactions and have the almost the same result as on processing. Okay, so I'm going to show you the processing sketch so we can start from scratch. So I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to add here a new container. This container will be 600 by 600. And how do I know that? And that is because if we open this processing sketch, you can see here we are in a 600 by 600 canvas, and we are on HSV mode. So I think that's it for now. So here in our container, we're in the look page, we're going to type point/bg, and here we're looking to container 1 that we can also rename to P. Okay. So I think that's it. So we're going to go inside. I'm going to copy these images that are the images from the processing. So here we need to add a switch because we need to change between these images. Then after this image we need to use a fit. This fit will help us to make this image with less or more pixels. So for now we're going to fit it like to 15 pixels by 15 pixels, and we need to change the smoothness to nearest pixel. Okay, after this we on TouchDesigner we are always working with RGB color space, so we need to convert this to HSV. So we can do this too with a RGB to HSV, and also change our smoothness to nearest pixel. Okay, after this we're going to add a null, and to make this sorting method we need to change our color space, or maybe I should say our data from tops to chops, because chops will help us to make this sorting methods. So first we're going to add top 2. This top 2 red value will change to hue, green to sat, and blue to brightness. We don't need alpha for now, and you can see here we are with this this image, and for the crop we need to have full image data. Okay, so now we have this data for the full image, and we need to here add a shuffle where we need to sequence all our channels by our name. So we need we will have only 3 channels instead of all of these channels. So we need to check sequence all channels by name, or all samples by name, sorry. Okay, let me see. Channels, sorry, it's channels. So okay, sequence channels by name. Okay, so after doing this, we need to add the sorting method, sort. So you can see here that is doing something. So first we're going to go back to image to start seeing this output, and we're going to see how we will achieve this output. So this after this null, we need to add a chop2. That is this. Oops, sorry. Chop2. Here our data format, we need to change this to RGB because we have 3 channels. And then this chop2 we need to convert again to HS to RGB. So we have to add HSB to RGB. After this, we need to add a flip. Oh, sorry. Flip. Then fit. This fit needs to be parent panel size, so it would fit to our canvas size. And we're going to add here an RGB key to have a black background, and finally add a null that will be our BG. Okay, so also we can select all of this and change our change our input smoothness to nearest pixel. Okay, so here before doing this sorting, we need to add again a shuffle, and this shuffle will split all samples. Oh, sorry, split and samples, and this end value needs to be this fit value. So we're going to add here 50, and we can start seeing this image, but is looking weird. First is because here we are sorting all channels at the same time, so every sample doesn't correspond to the value they have on each pixel. So here we need to add an indices, so we start sorting only by that channel, and the other channels will reorder or accommodate to their corresponding sorting value depending on which value is it. So if we put it hit 0, you can see that now is sorting only the hue value, but the saturation still where the pixel is. So if we change to 1, now we are sorting by saturation, and then we are sorting by brightness. But also the image is still looking weird, because here after doing this sorting method, our shuffle is shuffling all the images, or sorry, all the samples or channels for every hue, saturation, and brightness sequentially. And if we do this, our image will be weird, because we need to have the same aspect like this. We want the first channel of hue, the first channel of saturation, and the first channel of brightness. Okay, so to do this correctly, we need to here add a little more space. Here will we add select, and we are only selecting one channel. we're making that shuffle, but we are adding here before the null a math. This math will help us to mix all the channels. So here we need only to copy and paste this 2 times, and here we change to SAT, and this third select will change to brightness. Finally, we added here to our shuffle, and now we can start seeing a little more the output we need. So if here I change our sorting method to 0, you can start seeing these kind of gradient values that are that we are seeing here. And also if we look to this processing sketch, it says that 5 is hue, 6 sorts the colors on saturation, 7 sorts the color on brightness, and 8 sorts the color on grayscale. We don't have that grayscale. We need to create it. So before doing these interactions, we're going to make that um, luminance or grayscale values. So to make this, we need to have RGB color space position. So we're going to copy and paste these 2 operators, the top 2 one and the shuffle one. Copy and paste it. And here the fit the image will took the fit one. So now these are our RGB values. So the next thing here is change again to RGB. We don't need alpha. We're going to also add a math and a constant. Okay, so first the constant. This constant will have also 3 channels that will be corresponding to RGB, and this RGR will be 0.222, G will be 0.701, sorry, 707, and finally this will be 0.071. So the sum of these numbers is equal to 1. So we need to multiply these constant values with these values we have here. We can do this with a math. We input these 2 operators, and on combined chops we make multiply. So we are multiplying, and to ensure that we are multiplying the corresponding channel to its value, we change the match by channel name. So now we are making this grayscale, and the next thing is to add a math to make this make an average of these values, and combine channels change with average. So this will be our luminance or grayscale, as you want to name it. Finally, we need to add a rename. I will rename it to luminance, and we are making a little more space here to add a merge before this sorting method. So now this is merge. I'm going to move this a little more. I like to have this type of clean network. So okay, so our next thing here is that we can choose with indices 3 the luminance sorting. Okay, so that's it for the sorting method depending on the image we have. You can see this. If we change it here, it will change. Okay, so we have, if we will go back, sorry, to the processing sketch, we can see that the first interaction is loading different images with our keys 1, 2, 3. Also, we have a different here a canvas that is do it or that is calculated by dividing the width by the maximum of our mouse value and 5. So we can start with this. So I will add a panel. In this panel, we only select inside view. We rename it to mouse X. Then we add a math. This math or smallest value will be 5, and our largest value will be parent dot width. And we can select here the integer to round, so we have only integer values. Okay, and after this I'm going to add here a constant. This constant we rename it to width, and will be parent dot width. Then we only add a math again, and we divide those values with combined chops divide, also integer round. And now we have our value of pixels that will be 1 to 120. Finally, we add a null, and this null we can export it here to our feed. Let me see, yeah, to our feed. And also we need to export it here on the aim value. Remember, this value needs to be the same as the value on the feed. So chop reference, and now we have this interaction. Okay, so the next thing is to change our images, so we can do it that with a keyboard in chop. We only select keys 1 to 3. We add a logic with an operation pre-op of radio button, so the last key we hit is the one that is active. And finally, we only need to have one channel, so we can do this with a fan and operation fan in. Finally, we add a null, and this value we can export it to our switch. So this second operation is, or sorry, interaction is doing good because we are changing by the images. Okay, finally we need the interaction from the keys 4 to 5, sorry, 4 to 8. So we have no color sorting, no then sorting of hue, saturation, brightness, and grayscale. Okay, so here also we need to add another of these ones, copy and paste, and change the brightness to luminance, and add this shuffle to our matte. And remember to change here, as we have another value that is, it could be interpreted by RGB and alpha, so our data format will need to be 4-channel RGBA. And now we have this image looking good again. So okay, okay, so here we are going to add something like this again. So I'm going to copy and paste to save some time, and on our keyboard into we change from 4 5, 6, 7, and 8. So as we have different interactions here using using these buttons, we need to add some scripting, but it's easy, very easy. So here on the end of this node, we add a chop effective, and we can edit it on our favorite editor. So we have this operation that is, oh, sorry, that is value change. So it's okay. So the first thing we need to do is that when we are on key 4, we have no sorting value. So we need to bypass this so we can see our image as the original image. Okay. So to do this, we need to bypass and unbypass this. Okay, so here we're going to type if val equals to 0, then up sort 1 will be equal, sorry, dot bypass will be equal to true. And any other value, this will be false. This will be active. False. So I can save it, and if I hit 4, you can see that when I hit 4, the sorting changes. So we have so that, but if we fit 5, 6, and 7, 5 to 8, it remains the same. So we go back to our script, and here inside this else we need to add another if value is equals to 1, then up sort 1 dot par dot, and our par is named indices will be 0. Elif val equals to 2, then our value indices will be 1, and then we can copy and paste this. So change it here. If val is equals to 3, here is equals to 2, and if val is equals to 4, here is equals to 3. Okay, so we save this script, and then we look at our interactions, and you can start seeing that we are having these sorting values according to the channel we select. You can see it here more clearly. And yeah, that's also almost all of it. So I noticed one thing on this, and that is that if we look at this processing sketch, then let me change the same image and the same sorting method, that is hue. Sorry. As you can see, if we are on the same resolution and type, some things look like inverted. So like these white pixels on this part, on this bottom part, are like inverted. So that's why I added this flip. So we need to flip every time we are on our values, so we can start seeing more like the processing one. And this won't be the same output. I think this because the conversion or interpretation between the two color space we are working. So I think TouchDesigner make a different uh, operation to make this conversion, and that's why our final image doesn't look the same, but it has the same appearance. So we can conclude that we are doing the sorting as the original one. So um, this here we're going back to our script, and finally here, if our val is 0, if we are on the image original image, we need no flip. So up flip 1 dot par dot flip x will be 0, and if we are on any other sorting method, then we are flipping our image. So if we can see it here, if we hit 4, we have our original image, but when we change, we will have this flipping, so we can have this almost like the output of processing. And I think that's it. So I hope you like it. I hope you have your palettes uh, from your images, from your favorite images. And one thing just to remember, as we are converting from tops to chops, these are operations that are done on the CPU, and you can see, so 100 by 100 image produces almost uh, 50,000 samples. So we need to have be careful with this, but because if we here have more pixel resolution, our network probably will crash or will wait too long to make these operations. So you need to use here small values. Maybe you will always see your image, your original image pixelated, because if you look it like 600 pixels by 600, it will probably or crash or wait to generate these images. But that's the only thing with this sketch. So I want to thank to all of you that are supporting me on Patreon. This sketch will be available for my patrons. Also will have um the optimized network, where we reduce the use of these operators. And yeah, that's it. I hope you liked it, and I will see you on the next tutorial.